Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and about a year or so ago I did a couple videos on the Keltec CMR 30. The first video, I completely screwed that one up because I fired like 30 or 35 grain ballistic tip or polymer tip bullets in it, and it did not cycle very reliably. A bunch of viewers had told me, hey, why don't you read the instructions? And yeah, we don't need no instructions. But had I read them, I wouldn't have had near the issues I did. So I did another video where I did some 40 grain ammo and didn't have hardly any problems. I think I might have had one problem with it. But then someone else suggested that I try some 50 grain ammo. So I picked up some Federal 22 cal Winchester Magnum 50 grain jacketed hollow points. And we're going to get these out on the range and give them a few shots. Now, in both of my previous videos, I did not show how the gun comes apart. So real quick, like, we're going to take it on the bench here. I'll show you how it comes apart because I need to lube it up anyways, and then we'll get it out on the range and give it a few shots. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your stock is fully extended out of there. You've got it on safe. Let the bolt go all the way forward. And then there's a pin right here above the trigger. Now, I've already pushed it through there because you cannot, at least when it's new, you cannot get that pin pushed out by hand. I've taken a punch and pushed it on through there to get it out far enough where I can grab a hold of it. So once you've got that pin up there, then you can grab it, hopefully, and it's pretty tough. There we go, got the pin out. Now you'll be able to take the polymer part of it, the grip and receiver part, and pull that straight back and off of there. You can get up there and get in there and clean up the trigger assembly and everything, get it all lubed up when it's done. It's rim fire, so it's dirty, so get in there and clean it all out. Now on this part, your bolt in there, go ahead and pull your charging handle back a little bit. You can get the bolt and pull it out. This has got one massive bolt in it. Get this thing pulled all the way back. Go ahead and grab your rails and pull it out too. You're going to take the whole thing out. You set your upper part off to the side there, and here's your bolt. Go ahead and pick this thing up a little bit. You've got these little T-pins in the back here. Take that and kind of turn it sideways. You can pull it right out. That is one massive bolt there. That thing is huge for a, you know, it's a 22. It's a 22 Magnum, but still, that's a massive bolt in there. Not extremely heavy, but not real light either. Your firing pin is in there, your extractor's in there and everything. Get that all cleaned up. Clean your rails up and lube them up really well. Now this is an extruded piece here, and it's got these little slots in there. It's got some springs in there that help hold this in place. There's your notches where the catch is for the to pull your stock out. But get it all cleaned up and everything. Now in your upper part there, inside here, this thing gets really dirty, and you can probably see the rails right there. They're nice and shiny because this is aluminum extrusion here too, and that bolt rides back and forth on there, and that's caused some wear to it. So you want to make sure those rails are lubed up really well, and you want to make sure everything's clean in there. You will get a lot of gunk inside there. I've taken a lot of aluminum shavings out, a lot of burnt powder residue and everything. But we're going to go ahead and get it lubed up. Now, one nice thing about this, if you don't have an optic on it, you just got the flip-up sights on there, it sets pretty nice. It kind of holds itself up. But I'm going to get a little bit of frog lube on a Q-tip and put them on those rails there and get that all lubed up, because we're going to take it out there in the range and give it a few shots. Try to get it on both sides of the rail, the top and bottom. It's kind of hard to get on that inside there, but get you some in there. Reach in through your ejection port, get some on there, get it underneath there. Now, frog lube is pretty neat. It's a biodegradable, so it's no real harsh chemicals in it, and it's not real thick and gummy, so it cleans up easy. It's also a cleaner too. It's a CLP, cleaner, lube, and protectant, and you can see some of the gunk that's coming off of there on that Q-tip. It's a little dirty there. Get it worked down in the grooves there. You can get it out with your finger a little bit if you need to, get it in there. Now your body temperature will kind of liquefy this stuff a little bit. And of course, a few cycles through the gun and it'll liquefy it too. But it's not a real thick lubricant. It's not like a grease. I mean, I guess it is sort of like a grease, but it's not real thick, not real heavy. All right, putting it together can be a little tricky because, like I said, this is an extruded piece and this is an extruded piece, and there's a certain spot that this rail has to ride in there. So first thing you want to do is take your bolt assembly, this little T-post right here, you want to get that down inside there. Let's put it in the right way. Get that down inside there, and that rides back and forth in the groove there. Slide it all the way back. Now you got to get the front of this started in the extrusion there. There we go. All right, got it started. Pick your bolt up a little bit, get it to run in its groove, and your handle will slide all the way in. Take your, this is your stock release right here. Whoops. Pull that up just a little bit, just to get your stock started. And if you pull it up too far, you run the risk of popping some of these springs loose here. But anyways, once you've got that in there, again, your bolt has the grooves in the side of it. They're going to ride on those aluminum rails there where I showed you all the shiny parts there where it's kind of wearing on it. But once you get that in there, your bolt slides in, goes underneath your ejector there. Push it all the way forward. There we go, until it clicks. Now you can take your polymer part, your receiver, and go ahead and drop that down on there. Make sure it's riding on the rails. Slide it all the way forward. Now it wants to push back just that little bit. So you'll want to take your finger and kind of pull that some so your hole lines up there again, and take your pin and pop it back down in there. And like I said, this one is a tough one to get in. Let's put it in the right way. There we go. Now that we got it in, the pin is all the way in there. Go ahead and function check it. It's a rim fire, you shouldn't dry fire it, but I've got safety on. We'll go and give it a try. All right, it fired pretty easy. It's got a pretty nice feeling trigger on it too. You have your slide catch right there, so you pull that all the way back, push that up. That holds your bolt open. This is a non-reciprocating handle, so you don't have to worry about getting your hand in the way when you're out there firing it. This will click forward and it'll stay locked in there, and the bolt will still operate without this handle going. So if you got your hand up here, you don't have to worry about it getting hit by the bolt or by the charging handle reciprocating, because it doesn't reciprocate. Anyways, let's get this thing loaded up. And I've got two magazines here. Now, one of the magazines I've already got loaded. These are 40 grain CCIs in here, and I've got this box of the Federal 50 grains. And this is kind of an odd magazine to load. It is a double stack 22, so 22 Magnum. We'll get 5 rounds out of here, and I'll show you how they go in. There is a little window right in there that the rim will go through. It will not go all the way back. You can't put it all the way to the back and push it down. It'll go in somewhere between there and there. You can push it all the way down from the front here if you want to. It's not advised. Put it in that window there, and you'll see your follower is offset. It's got a step in it, so your first round is going to go over to. You want to make sure when you put your next round in there, put it in that window again, put it in that window again, push down, and it's going to go over to the other side, and then slide it back. And you want to make sure your rims are staggered there like that. Your first round is the farthest one back. Your next round, that rim is stacked right up against it, and then so on as they go in. They push in, stagger one side to the other, put it in that little window. The next one goes over the other side. When you get 5 or 10 rounds in it, go ahead and give it a little tap. Make sure they're all the way back in there. These are kind of finicky. If you don't have them loaded in there right, you'll have some reliability issues there too. All right, got the 2 magazines loaded up. We're going to try the 40 grains first, and got my hoodie on, got my eyes and ears, and we're going to get this thing out on the range, give it a few tries and see how it does. All right, out here on the range, it's the sun's getting ready to set. It is like 3:30 in the afternoon, but you know, it's winter time. It's a little cold out here today. There's ice. Everything on the ground is frozen pretty much. Starting to get a little bit of mud because it did warm up some today. But anyways, I've got a old American marksman target up there. I'm kind of being environmentally friendly because it's got 3 targets on it that haven't been shot yet. So hey, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Anyways, I'm going to get the CMR 30 charged up, give it a few shots. We're going to do the 40 grains first and see how they cycle, and then we'll do a magazine of the 50 grains and see if they're any better, same, worse, whatever. Anyways, let's do it. All right, one of the things I'm not a big fan of in the CMR 30 is the way the magazine release is. It loads in the handle just like any other pistol pretty much. You've got, slides right in there, locks in, but your mag release is right there on the heel. I mean, it's okay. I just, I really like having the mag release on the thumb there, or even with the trigger finger up on the side there. But it's not a bad gun anyways, despite that. You've got 30 rounds. Hopefully you can get it done, you know, without having to do a bunch of mag dumps. But I do have the flip up sights on there. These are the mag pull backup sights. And I've got a magazine in there. We'll give it a try, see how it does. All right, there's 10 rounds. Let's go up there and take a real quick peek at that, and then we'll just dump it and see what it does. All right, there's the target right there. 10 rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not bad. I'm only shooting at 15 yards, but I'm not really taking much time anyways. But it's not a bad shooting gun, man. It really isn't. Shoots pretty good. And I should have 20 more rounds in that magazine. I'm not real sure on that one. It was a long time ago when I loaded it, and it stayed loaded for a long time too, with the spring compressed. So far it's feeding reliably, but we'll dump the other 20 or so rounds in there, and then we'll put the 50 grainers in there. All right, that was it. We dumped that mag. It is last round hold open on there, so the bolt did hold open. To eject it, like I said, just hit that, let it fall to the ground. The other magazine's laying over there. We'll grab it. Those will be the 50 grainers, and we'll see how they do. All right, these are the 50 grain Federal hollow points. We'll see how they do. And when you go to charge it, you just grab the charging handle, which is ambidextrous. It's on either side there, you can see. Just grab it, pull it back. It'll release the bolt catch, let it fall forward, and it's good to go. All right, there's 10 rounds of the 50 grain. So let's go up there. I did a different target. Let's go up there and take a look at those real quick, and then we'll dump the rest of it too. They do feel a little bit different. It actually felt like maybe a little less recoil, which is kind of odd. You'd think that it would be a heavier bullet, should have a little bit more, but it wasn't too bad at all. All right, down here is where I dumped the rest of the 40 grain rounds. This is the 10 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the 10 shots I did with the 50 grain Federal, and like I said, it actually felt a little less recoil, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell between, it's 10 grains. 10 grains is not very much weight. But we're gonna go ahead and dump the rest of this mag and see how it does. I'm gonna load 5 CCIs, and I'm gonna load 5 of the Federals, and I'm gonna alternate them. We're gonna start with a CCI in the bottom, which means it'll be the last round, and then a Federal, and a Federal. The 50 grain will be the first one we fire, and then it'll be followed, you know, it'll go 50, 40, 50, 40, you know how the deal is. Okay, 50 grain Federal first. Let's see how they do. See if you can tell the difference in the camera. I don't know that you'll be able to. It's only 10 grains difference in the bullet weight, but we'll see what it does. Got a little issue there with a failure to feed. Pop the magazine out there. It could just be the way I had them loaded in the magazine. I just kind of crammed them in there pretty quick. We'll try that again. Now this will be the 40 grain first. I really couldn't tell much difference in them. They both seem to fire pretty good. Not sure what that misfeed was. Like I said, these magazines are really finicky, really particular about how they're loaded, and if you just kind of cram them in there willy-nilly, you're going to have issues. And there is specific instructions in the owner's manual on how to load it, and believe me, I've heard plenty of comments about how to load them from, you know, different viewers, and I should probably take that advice because, you know, occasionally you have things like this happen. Other than that, it's a pretty good shooting gun. Keltec makes some really cool looking guns, and this one is one of them. This is just a cool looking gun. I like the collapsible stock on it. It's adjustable in several different positions. Let's see, there's going to be your shortest other than fully collapsed, and then it's like about an inch for each one. So you're good to go with various size shooters. That's fully extended right there, and that's comfortable for me. If you got somebody shorter or younger, you know, a younger shooter, go for it. You know, when you got it fully collapsed, you can pull it straight out and it will kind of zip. If you do it fast, it'll zip past all those other settings and go to the fully extended, and then you can find where you want it. But if you've ever seen the PMR 30, which is pistol Magnum rimfire, that's it. Carbine Magnum rimfire and pistol Magnum rimfire. The lowers are identical on it. This one, they've just put a 16-inch upper on it. It does have a threaded barrel on it. It's got a thread protector on the end there, so you can put a any kind of muzzle device that you can legally put on there. You can go for it and put it on there. It's got a full-length Picatinny rail on the top. It's got some rail on the bottom here if you want to put a flashlight on it. Now, does it have a practical purpose? Probably not. But it's definitely a fun gun, that's for sure. You know, maybe I live out on the farm here. This would be a nice one to keep beside the bed. You know, in case you hear a bump in the night or something, put a flashlight on the bottom of it there. You hear a coyote out there messing around with the chickens. This is a good one to go out there and get them with it. You can put all kind of optics on the top. You can put all kind of stuff on the bottom. And really, 22 Magnum is beginning to be more popular, I'd say. For a while there, it was kind of rare to see 22 Magnum, but you're starting to see more of it in the stores now, and a bunch of different weights, a bunch of different bullet types on there, from lead round nose to jacketed hollow points to polymer tip bullets, actual hunting rounds made for 22 Magnum. It's a good varmint rifle. It could be a personal protection rifle, a home defense rifle, I'd say, because it is easy to wield, especially if you got it on the you know, the shorter settings and, you know, you're sweeping the house or whatever. But it's a pretty fun little gun. It really is. The Magpul backup sights on there, flip up sights, they're pretty comfortable. I mean, easy to deploy. You just push the little levers down, they pop up, you're ready to go. Perfectly capable of doing some 100-yard shots. Open sights, if you're on a big enough target, sure. But if you want to put a scope on this thing, it should shoot just as well as any other 22 Magnum rifle, and it's a semi-auto. So as fast as you can pull that trigger, and 30 round capacity in these magazines, you can really sling some lead out there. Anyways, thanks for taking a look at the Keltec CMR 30, the Carbine Magnum rimfire. It's a fun little gun. Not really the least expensive one out there, but you'll not find another one set up quite like this. It's just a cool gun. And if you do have the PMR 30, the pistol, same magazine fits either one of them. I do not have the PMR 30, so I couldn't tell you about the reliability of it, but maybe one of these days, who knows. Hey, if you could, hit this button over here to check out some of my other videos. Hit this button up here to subscribe. Thanks for taking a look at the CMR 30 with me, and thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review.